Let me start with something that will probably offend half the people hearing this, but it needs to be said. Modern women love equality until it actually feels equal. They love the idea of being treated like men, respected like men, spoken to like men. But the moment a man gives them the exact same treatment they give us every day, suddenly the world collapses. Suddenly, it's rude, disrespectful, toxic, misogynistic. The hypocrisy is so blatant, it would be funny if it wasn't so exhausting. You'll see a woman rate herself a 9 while calling the average man a 4. She wants a 6-foot athlete who makes 6 figures, owns a house, drives a luxury car, and can provide her a lifestyle she hasn't earned herself. But if a man has even one standard, even something as simple as not wanting a partner with a chaotic past, she explodes. A man having preferences is now bigotry. A man wanting loyalty is now insecurity. A man expecting feminine behavior is now oppression. This is the reality men face today. Women can say anything they want about us online. They can post that men are useless, trash, immature, broke, toxic. People laugh, cheer, repost it. But the moment a man points out female double standards, the internet erupts. Suddenly, he's dangerous. Suddenly, he hates women. Suddenly, honesty becomes abuse. And here's the part they refuse to admit. Modern women have lived their entire lives with a safety net of male generosity. Every era, every culture, every generation before this one bent society to protect them. Now that men are finally giving women what they claim to want, real equality, they can't handle the weight of it. They're shocked by the coldness of reality because they've never experienced it before. Try this simple test for proof. Apply the exact same standards to a woman that she applies to you. If she demands a 6-foot man, tell her you won't date anyone over a certain weight. If she wants a man who makes 6 figures, ask her what she offers in return that justifies that level of man. If she mocks men for being broke, ask her why she has no savings and lives with roommates. Watch the meltdown. She wanted equality, but only when it benefits her, not when it requires accountability. Social media has given the average woman the confidence of a celebrity. She posts a photo and 100 men flood her comments with attention. She mistakes sexual attention for romantic value. She thinks desire equals respect. And because of that, she believes she's high value simply for existing. She doesn't understand that men don't value women the way women value men. A man wanting to sleep with her means nothing. Men will sleep with anything mildly attractive. It doesn't make her special. It doesn't make her worthy of commitment. It just makes her available. But the delusion goes even deeper. You'll meet women who casually admit things that would destroy a man's reputation instantly. She'll proudly say she keeps backup men, flirts with other guys to test her boyfriend, or has cheated in the past, like she's talking about buying a new pair of shoes. And the shocking part? She genuinely believes none of it matters. She expects men to ignore it, forgive it, and pretend it isn't a reflection of her character. She wants to live like a man, but be judged like a woman. She wants to behave recklessly, but still be seen as a prize. When a man does the same thing, suddenly it's betrayal, unforgivable, emotionally abusive. The same behavior is fine for her, but monstrous for him. This isn't equality. This is selective morality. And this is why modern women get shocked when men finally start treating them the way they treat us. No pedestal, no softness, no emotional cushioning. Just straightforward honesty, just reality, just accountability. And for the first time in their lives, they're feeling the pressure men have carried forever. This is only the beginning. There's much more to uncover. The real shock starts when a man finally stops playing by the old rules, when he stops sugarcoating his words, when he stops over-investing, when he stops pretending women are fragile creatures made of glass, when he treats them the exact same way he treats men, direct, honest, accountable. That's when everything unravels. You'll see it instantly in their reactions. A woman can criticize a man's appearance without hesitation. Too short, too broke, too average, not her type. But the moment a man calmly says she's not in the shape she claims to be, or that her lifestyle isn't compatible with what he wants, her entire identity crumbles. She's offended, insulted, traumatized. Not because what he said was cruel, but because she's never been judged with the same honesty she dishes out daily. Men have lived with evaluation since childhood. Compete, achieve, provide, improve, fail, and try again. That's the male experience. Women never had to develop that muscle. Their value was inherited, not earned. Youth, beauty, fertility. Nature gave it to them. Society protected it. Men pursued it. Now that men are evaluating women by the same standards women use for men, the shock is overwhelming. Look at dating. Modern women are genuinely confused when men ask what they bring to the table besides expectations. They're used to being the prize automatically. They're used to receiving attention, gifts, effort, and emotional labor simply for showing up. Suddenly, men want reciprocity. Suddenly, men want something in return. Suddenly, men have boundaries, and women don't know how to function in that world. You hear them say things like, men don't chase anymore, or men have become cold, or men don't try like they used to. But the truth is simple. Men finally realized chasing gave women all the power, while giving men nothing back. They realized that pedestalizing women only makes them entitled, not grateful. They realized that being nice, compliant, and accommodating only gets them used, not valued. So when men stop over-giving, women interpret it as hostility. When men stop tolerating disrespect, women interpret it as aggression. When men start expecting loyalty, femininity, and accountability, women interpret it as control. They mistake male standards for male oppression because they're not used to having any standards applied to them at all. You see this in relationships, too. A woman gains weight and demands unconditional acceptance. A man gains weight and suddenly she's not attracted anymore. A woman needs time to work on herself. A man doing the same is lazy. A woman can cry, vent, and break down emotionally. A man doing the same is unstable or unmanly. But here's the twist that's making modern women panic. Men are finally applying symmetry. Men are finally saying, if you want equality, you'll get equality all the way, not just the parts that benefit you. If you can criticize us, we can criticize you. If you can reject us for standards, we can reject you for ours. If you can walk away when your needs aren't met, so can we. And the moment men stopped being afraid of losing women, everything changed. Women used to rely on the fear of abandonment to control relationships, threaten to leave, withdraw intimacy, give cold treatment, and men would panic, apologize, and run back. But the new generation of men has replaced fear with freedom. They're not scared to lose a woman who brings stress instead of peace. They're not afraid to walk away from a woman who thinks she's above accountability. They're not begging anymore. They're evaluating. This is where the shock hits hardest. When a man treats a woman with the same emotional neutrality he treats another man, she doesn't know how to respond. When he doesn't bend, collapse, or lose himself to keep her happy, she feels something unfamiliar. Not anger, not power, not entitlement. She feels exposed. For the first time, she realizes that her gender doesn't guarantee admiration. Her confidence doesn't guarantee attraction. Her standards don't automatically override his. And that's when the panic begins. Because equality feels empowering only until it becomes real.
The real chaos begins the moment men stop apologizing for being men, when they stop filtering their thoughts, stop hiding their standards, stop pretending they don't see the contradictions, and finally treat women with the same blunt reality women claim to want. That's when modern women experience something they were never prepared for. Actual equality. Not the Instagram version, not the cherry-picked kind, the kind where your words matter as much as your actions. the kind where accountability isn't optional, the kind where your past affects your future, the kind where effort must match expectations, the kind men have lived with their entire existence. Women spent decades demanding men be more sensitive, more emotional, more understanding. But the moment men started expecting women to be more supportive, more consistent, more feminine, suddenly it's too much. Suddenly the standards feel oppressive. Suddenly equality isn't fun anymore. Because for the first time, women have to compete, not with each other, with reality itself, with biology, with age, with consequences, with the truth that attraction is not a social construct, it's instinct. And instinct doesn't care about hashtags or slogans. Instinct doesn't care about empowerment. Instinct doesn't care about ideology. A man who builds himself becomes more valuable with time. His confidence grows, his resources grow, his discipline grows. Women know this. That's why they chase the men they once ignored. That's why they circle back to the men they rejected. That's why they suddenly want stability at the exact age men gain options.
Meanwhile, women who spent their youth believing men are disposable suddenly meet a reality they can't manipulate. They discover that the attention they got at 22 was never respect. They discover that validation doesn't convert into commitment. They discover that independence is much heavier than they imagined. They discover that men aren't lining up for women who bring demands instead of value. But here's the twist modern women truly can't handle. Men aren't angry anymore. They're uninterested. The panic isn't caused by male hostility, it's caused by male indifference. Men used to fight for female approval. Now men walk away from female entitlement. Men used to compromise themselves for a chance at intimacy. Now men value peace more than companionship. Men used to beg for attention. Now they protect their time like it's gold. And women feel the shift. They feel it in dating, in relationships, in the workplace, in every social space where men no longer bend to emotional pressure, where men no longer chase validation, where men no longer pedestalize them, where men simply apply the same energy women have been giving for years. The shock isn't that men changed. The shock is that women never believed men would. And here's the final truth that ties everything together. Modern women insisted they didn't need men. Now they're learning what that world actually looks like. A world where men fulfill their lives without female approval. A world where masculine standards matter again. A world where men choose peace over chaos. A world where respect is earned, not demanded. That's the reality they never expected. That's the equality they never imagined. And that's the ending they never saw coming.